Alright folks, we're back with my 40-gallon vertical. This is a project that I had started a long time ago and that I made beautiful. But part of my flaws that I had with it was that I wanted a zero external plumbing and an internal plumbing, and so that meant replacing the bottom glass, and then I just had problems from there. So now I've finally gotten back to a point where I feel that I can get water back in it again. After essentially taking everything out, if you watch some of my other videos, you saw I completely pulled everything out. There were complete Brahms, zebra danios, planted bottom, and now we're just back down to water and a soiled up area. This one epithelial vine that I got from Tropiflora, it managed to hold on really well, and in spite of having no water and being stuck in there with toxic fumes from the liquid rubber I used. Now, a lot of you people are probably wondering, why in the heck did I use liquid rubber? I poured essentially 5 quarts of it in there in the bottom because it was that bad. It was completely cracked, and because of the way I built it, there was no way for me to get another piece in there. I had completely already built everything in, and so I had to shore up the bottom, put all the pieces together, seal the bottom, and then attempt to seal the top, and it failed and it failed and failed, and finally I just went with the nuclear option and poured the liquid rubber in there. I know that there are safer alternatives, like the ones that the guys use that build the plywood aquariums. I wanted those, but I couldn't find them, and I was in the middle of the project, and I just went for it. So as a result, I have a reduced water area, having capped that liquid rubber with clay. I'm still having a little bit of issue with some of that liquid rubber coming up, but I've seen a lot of life holding on. A lot of the mold and a lot of the maggots and stuff have done well in spite of it. And my filter's doing a pretty good job. Right now I just have a cheap dome light on there, and that is just purely for some basic heat and light. I had an issue with my LEDs, and so I'm getting the power cable sent back here pretty quick. But the next step, as soon as I get my LEDs in, is to start doing some test planning. I'm just going to use some small stuff. I had Brahms, and the Brahms did really well before, but I don't know what... and I suspect anything that's epithelial, air plants and Brahms will continue to do well. I'm just worried about the actual water itself with that liquid rubber. So it's coming along, and it's got more steps to come. I think the next step may also be just grinding up some moss and getting it painted in there to get the moss going. But a key aspect of it that failed, of course, was the lesson learned from how to do the glass, how to replace the glass on the bottom when I start a project like this. So then my next project that's going to do that is going to be this oceanic here. I don't know if you can see that very well, but that oceanic on its side, that's going to get its bottom knocked out, and then I'm going to pull the top, set a thicker piece to the base, and kind of hopefully avoid the issues I had. And then there's also the next project, an open vertical 55 upside down, getting ready to get drilled. But this is where the fingers are crossed right now. My water clarity has improved. I did put some yeast into the water and let it cook off once I sealed it and once I got it to where I wanted to do that. And the reason I did that was to test the water clarity, and not the water clarity, but to test, stuff living viably in the water with that liquid rubber in the bottom, and also just to try to get something in there that might be able to coexist and eat or pick up any kind of toxins that might leak out. We're going to let this thing go a long time biotically before I attempt to put any vertebrates in there, any fish or anything. But there's my filtration system. I do really like building physical media filters for the sump. It's just a lot more convenient and easy. There's no real need for commercial filters and stuff, but I totally, of course, understand guys building them and selling them for people that don't want to mess with it. But well, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for how this thing comes out, because it was really beautiful when I had it done correctly the first time, but it turned out to not be correct. So thanks for watching.